FEMA funds and the Medicaid funding cliff to fund Medicaid. We can't let this disaster happen. All of us are going to be fighting hard to right this wrong. Thank you very much.
And now we're going to listen from our Congressman, Darren Soto.
It's been 100 days, more than 100 days. I think it's critical for people to understand, all Floridians, everyone across this nation, that Americans in Puerto Rico are still in crisis. Es muy importante por toda la gente en esta nación para saber, Puerto Rico todavía es en crisis. And we must have unity and we must have action. Now, there are a few things. We traveled down the week after the hurricane and also at the 100-day mark. And we saw that there are hospitals that are still mostly closed. And we need Medicaid and Medicare parity now. We also saw 1.5 million, 1.5 millón personas in Puerto Rico todavía no tienen poder. They don't have power. Can you imagine this in Florida? It would never happen. And it's because there has been a lack of leadership from the White House on down to help out our brothers and sisters on the island. We have a disaster relief package that is now in the Senate. And I have asked, and Senator Nelson is going to be working on trying to get affordable housing dollars for here in Central Florida. My office is inundated by families who may be kicked out on the street by the end of this week, by tomorrow, because FEMA has approved extensions of hotel vouchers, but not if you have a house still standing in Puerto Rico. It doesn't matter if you have power or not. It doesn't matter if you have water or not. This is a gross inequity that must be fixed. In addition, we need long-term affordable housing solutions here in Central Florida, whether it is making sure that our state partners put real money from our trust fund, from the Housing Trust Fund, the Sadowski Fund, into affordable housing for Orange, Osceola, Hillsborough, Miami-Dade, areas hardest hit where there are most Puerto Rican arrivals coming, or whether it's making sure that those who are coming here, who are juniors and seniors in high school, have an ability to transfer their credits over so they could graduate and pursue a career here, or whether it's maintaining the in-state tuition that we have. On the federal level, they're still sending wooden poles down to Puerto Rico. Can you imagine, after Hurricane Maria just hit, that we're sending wooden poles down to Puerto Rico when we already had most of them fall down like matchsticks after Hurricane Maria? So we need resiliency. We need to build Puerto Rico back up better. And we need to embrace renewables so that we don't have to rely on foreign oil to make sure that Puerto Rico, our island, is going to come back stronger. There's also issues with healthcare that are so critical. When you have 6,000 out of the 15,000 doctors leaving since 2012, something is severely wrong. And because there's not enough money in the system, Puerto Rico gets millions and millions less than states do. And then on top of all this crisis, and I want you to think a moment, put yourselves in the shoes of people who may get kicked out tomorrow from their hotels. Put yourself in the shoes of people, children who haven't been back to school in weeks, folks who are living without power for over 100 days. And I want you to take a moment and reflect. That is the crisis at hand. And so as we work together, we need to make sure that Congress passes this disaster relief package. We need to make sure that Medicaid parity occurs so that we have money back in the system. We need to make sure we have real short-term and long-term affordable housing solutions here. We need to make sure that there is ease of enrollment of Medicaid and Medicare for those who are here in Central Florida. We need to make sure that we have in-state tuition for our young people and make sure that we have ease of enrollment for our K through 12 young students and make sure that those who just arrived here, who are about to graduate, have an ability to do that. Pero nosotros necesitamos trabajar juntos. Necesitamos estar unidos. Y nosotros necesitamos acción. We need unity and action at this point, rather than bickering and division. We need leadership from the White House on down, and we need your voices to make it happen. So thank you, everybody. Keep up the fight. This is what this is all about, making sure America sees there is still crisis in Puerto Rico and here in Central Florida. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Congressman. And now I'm going to leave you with our host, the mayor of Kissimmee, Jose Alvarez.
Good morning. Wow. You know, I'm very proud to be the mayor of this city. This is an honor to have the mayor of Puerto Rico here with us. It's an honor. It's a really honor. The governor, sorry. I'm really proud, and so excuse me for that. I've been to Puerto Rico several times. We worked on several projects that we've been doing together prior to the storm, and unfortunately for now they've been put on hold, but the conversation is always we're going to move forward. My conversation every time I've been to Puerto Rico with the governor and Secretary of State and others is, you need to come here. Your people need to see you. They need to make sure that they have still the support of their governor in the island. They still have it here. And thank you so much for doing that and making this your first stop. You know, yesterday, in the middle of interviews, I was asked by a reporter, as the mayor of Kissimmee, what stops you from sleeping at night with the issue with Maria and all the evacuees that we've had from Puerto Rico? And so what I told the reporter, as a father and a grandfather, I think of those parents thinking of their kids because they don't have security. They don't know where they're going to be sleeping tomorrow. They don't know where their kids are going to have a plate of food and a decent place to live. And you know, these families didn't come here for a handout. They came here at no fault of their own because they had to, and they're here because they want to make sure that they can provide for their families. And they depend on us to do that. Myself and Senator Torres have been working for months requesting FEMA to initiate a program that it exists. It's been used with Katrina, which is a long-term rental assistance. So when they ask me, why do you want that program to be open? I said, because at least we could give a peace of mind on a longer term to this family so they know they have a secure roof over their head while they get their lives together and move forward into permanent housing and permanent living. Unfortunately, for FEMA says we have to have the governor of Puerto Rico to request that program. Well, the governor of Puerto Rico did it. He first has to get it started in Puerto Rico to then he can request to move it here to Florida also and extend it to Florida. FEMA has not done that. There's no reason for that. We're talking about American citizens that are suffering. American citizens that, at no fault of their own, mind you, and this is a non-Puerto Rican talking. Puerto Rico got taken by the United States, whether they wanted to or not. They didn't ask for it. They were taken. They were taken because it was an island that it was a strategic place in the right place in the Caribbean. And if they were taken, they should be another state of this flag that we so proudly say our own flag. And so I invite all those elected officials that have been in Puerto Rico and have had a lot of talk, because see, action speaks louder than words. I'm a big believer of that. Action speaks louder than word. I invite the Speaker of the House that went to Puerto Rico and said to our governor and their people that they were there to help them. I invite them to put on the floor of the House, because he's the only one that has the power to do that, for a vote to Puerto Rico become a state. Let's not wait for Puerto Ricans to vote for it anymore. It's in the hand of Congress, and they need to do that. I also question, why do they still keep that Jones Act? It's been a chokehold on Puerto Rico economically. It needs to be removed, and removed immediately. And it's in the hand of our Speaker to do that. So putting that aside, that will help Puerto Rico immensely to grow and become a good, strong state to the Union, because that's what they are. See, I don't see Puerto Rico as a separate area. I see it as a state. Even though their flags, their star is still not here, I see it because they are American citizens. They fought in wars. They've died and bled for this country, and we owe it to them to be able to do that. With FEMA, we need Congress. We need the Speaker of the House also to remove whatever red tape that they have on the federal side so we can provide to the Puerto Rican people in the island the same thing that we provide to anyone else in any other state in the Union that have gone through catastrophe. Now, we do understand that FEMA is stretched out. FEMA was never in this game for the long term, and unfortunately, there's been a lot of catastrophes. But we asked to get Congress to move forward, remove those red tapes, to make people's lives simpler. Puerto Ricans don't want a handout. They don't want a handout. They want a hand up. They just want that push that we all deserve. Governor, City of Kissimmee stands with you. We have received and still receive everyone here with open arms. Senator Torres and myself have worked and continue to work with FEMA to make sure that we get what is owed to those American citizens. And we will continue to pledge that and continue to work with you in other projects together. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Que Dios me lo bendiga a todos. Hasta luego.